they are necessarily dead. I think just the people that didn't really enjoy the Cruiserweight Classic like other like we did, they don't really care as much, if that makes sense.
Right. I guess I can understand that. But
I mean, I guess, I don't know. It makes me feel really uneasy.
It does. But you know what? We got to talk about this, that Brian Kendrick picked up the victory with the bully choke, not the Captain's Hook. He's not freaking Captain Hook from Peter Pan, damn it. So
thank you.
But we also were talking about this before the show about how Kendrick won, and that ties into how he retained the following night on Raw, which TJ Perkins won by a count out. But it seems like there is one of us that is not exactly happy with how Brian Kendrick won the belt.
The ending to this match was the stupidest.
I'll give you a guess, Spencer.
Oh, it was the stupidest ending I've seen in a long fucking time. Like,
I disagree.
You have Brian Kendrick feign the knee injury. That's fine. But then you have Brian Kendrick come to a you have TJ Perkins come to a screeching halt. It just sits on the rope and just like, oh god, I hurt him. You're in a fucking wrestling match, dude. What are you supposed to do? And then he goes over, he's like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm gonna help you up. And then BAM! He gets headbutted and loses his title. Yeah, I'm glad you fucking lost the title. Like, you're fucking stupid.
Dude, he's supposed to be the babyface. He's supposed to, like, I want better from you, man. And if you thought he hurt him, it's like, dude, babyface is, like, stop and, like, oh, dude, is he okay?
But this one was different to me. This one...
You're supposed to be the babyface. You're supposed to be the...
Babyfaces are fucking stupid sometimes. They really are.
I mean, admittedly,
that's the point,
I get it.
Though. That's called entertainment, Spencer. This is not...
No, I mean, from one standpoint, I get it.
It's called entertainment.
If you say this is not real, I will come to your house and I will kill
you. Hey.
I didn't say that, so...
I can see honestly, I can kind of see both points, because, like, what happened on the Monday before? Oh, please just let me win. And he's been, cheating and conniving the whole time. I mean... I could understand why someone would be like, why would you go check on him? Why would you trust him? But then again, he's also the babyface. I think it's one of those, for me, I know where I stand. I look at it as he's a babyface, being a babyface, he's being a nice guy. But I can get the other side of it. Like, nah, dude, that's dumb. What the fuck?
Right. So, move on to the... This was majorly disappointing for me because I was expecting more out of this. The tag team title match between New Day as well as Cesaro and Sheamus.
Can I say something?
Sheamus.
You have every right to, and your opinions don't matter at this point, but please, by all means, go ahead.
I am starting to hate the New Day again.
Don't blame you.
I am starting to hate the New Day again.
I can't help but wonder if maybe that's being done intentionally to fuel a heel turn, because look how they won. They retained their titles. I can't help but feel like maybe it's usher that in.
Yeah, I don't know. The way that they're winning their matches now and the way that they're retaining, it's becoming a joke. And I'm losing respect for the Raw tag team belts. Because... Now, this is twice. This is what? Twice, three times in a row that the New Day has retained by shenanigans. It gets their heels. That's what they are. If you're winning by shenanigans and you're doing it multiple times, you're a heel team, dude. It's what you are. You're not the face team anymore. So I don't know.
I do think that they're trying to make Cesaro and Sheamus into a face team, which would be nice.
Right.
But I think right now it's still too soon to put the titles on Sheamus and Cesaro because they just got together. Now, arguably, people can argue, a team. Hell no, they were a team for about a week and they won the tag team titles. But you have to remember, it's fucking Bryan Danielson and Glenn Jacobs. These guys had a perfect chemistry. Cesaro and Sheamus, they have some sort of chemistry there, but it's not fully clicking just yet. Once they find that final click, then I can say, yes, put the belts on them. Right now, not quite there yet.
Right, and don't get me wrong, at this point, what's clear that's going to happen is that the New Day is going to break Demolition's record. As soon as that record is up, they're going to drop the belts.
That's why. Because if they just drop them real quick, even if it's only a month, even if it's a full month after they break the record, then it makes it very clear that the only reason they held it that just barely long enough was to break the record. And I know you're supposed to suspend your disbelief. That kicks me out of it. That basically just means, this means nothing. You're basically, you did this. It's them artificially making history, you know?
Right, and you make it seem like the record is this big deal, but at the same time, when you've retained your belts 3 pay-per-views in a row by shenanigans, it gets to the point where I lose interest, and that's where I'm at with the New Day at this point. Don't get me wrong.
I'm gonna do like a little research and probably do this either on like a Friday show or a Thursday show, talking about NXT and Lucha Underground as well as TNA Impact, because we know how much Spencer loves that show. But I want to do research on Demolition's title run to see like if they even did that during like big time events. Like, did they retain via shenanigans, or did they retain it via actual clean victories or whatever? Because Demolition, jeez Louise, Demolition is in WWE what Road Warriors were in like every other wrestling organization. They were damn over, and it was amazing.
Absolutely.
But I do agree with your point, Spencer, that it's okay to do shenanigans every now and then, but when you do it consistently, that's where it loses a lot of its taste. And you know what the sad thing is? It's not even the first time, because if you remember, there was a certain team that they faced off last year, Dudley Boys, who they won they retained via disqualification, the technicality. There's a point where it's like, can you guys open your eyes and maybe have a ruling where New Day has to actually win via pinfall or submission, and they can lose the titles via DQ or countout? Have you thought about that? Hello, McFly. Hello, think. Before I bop you on the head with a fucking newspaper. Jesus.
No,
sorry, I had to get that out.
No, it's cool. I do have to ask. If they were just out and out heels, would it be okay?
It would be different. I would respect that if they were full out heels. But because they are considered the baby face in this match and in the last few pay-per-views, I have a problem with it, because baby faces 9 out of 10 times. Yes, every now and again they'll cheat to win or everything if there's a good reason for it. Now it just seems like WWE is, like Nate said, artificially creating history to have the New Day defeat the Demolition record.
Right.
And it's kind of not the first time, because I got to bring that up again when we get to the main event.
Speaking of which...
Oh, I get to bring it up.
Can I just want to play Glorious by Glorious Domination, Bobby Roode's theme for this matchup, because dear fucking God, did I fall in love with this matchup, sleep with it, and then we just spent like a whole fucking year together. Holy shit, this was awesome.
This was
I don't
great.
care what anybody said.
This was great until the last minute, and then it was a dumpster fire.
I will say this. I will agree with that, because I did actually mention that. But here's the thing, is that everybody had such standards going into this. They're saying they shouldn't be putting women in the cell because obviously the equality thing is not going to work out, and they're not going to do the same thing like Shane McMahon would do. It's like stuff like, so what? They could still have a damn good matchup and still have a memorable deal, and that's what they did.
And they did.
Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Honest to God, if anybody tells me that there's somebody better than Sasha Banks and Charlotte right here today, I will slap the piss out of you, and I will say Charlotte and Sasha Banks are the 2 best damn female wrestlers, not superstars, wrestlers in right now, because damn was this a good matchup, and they put their bodies through hell, pun intended, because they wanted to show that they could hang with the big boys. And not only did they hang with the big boys, I think they surpassed even the past 2 Hell in a Cell matches. I'm not going to lie. It was damn, one more, damn good.
Damn!
Wow. First off, before I say my bit that I had planned, damn.
Sorry, Max.
Damn! Had to get that out. But honestly, match was fantastic. I mean, for starters, they used the fucking cell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just need to get that out. They actually used it, and not just for that opening spot. There was the other into it. They actually incorporated it into strategy. They used the cell, and with how hard they were hitting each other, they didn't pull anything. There was no bloodshed, but that was as brutal as a Hell in a Cell needed to be.
Yes.
I've cooled off on the finish. At this point, I'm kind of at some point I'm going to get Charlotte Bayley. But at the same point, I'm satisfied. I'm fine with it. I'm okay. I can live with it. That all being said, WWE wants to act like this is history. Lucha Underground exists, and TNA once had an all-women pay-per-view. Thank you very fucking much.
Right.
I realize they're not as big as WWE, and that the scale is thus historic, but they're making it act like it's a big deal for just wrestling in general, and ish. I feel like it is, but there better be a little asterisk next to it in the books.
Yeah.
Right, and let's get into the finish of this match, because I guess this, I've read some articles about the finish of this match, and it seems like this was actually supposed to be how Sasha lost the belt in the first place. She was supposed to retain at SummerSlam, hold it through Hell in a Cell, which at that point then Sasha would drop the belt to Charlotte, thus leading into the Bayley-Charlotte feud going into WrestleMania. So I think with the victory for Charlotte, I think that's kind of setting everything back to the way it was supposed to be. But it just seems like to be a 3-time women's champion. Again, we're back to the Roman Reigns deal, where Reigns...
I disagree with you there. I don't think it's as bad as Roman Reigns. I do think that each time the way she won it, it felt natural. Okay. You might not have liked it. I know I didn't, and I'm still a little on that shaky ground, but it still felt like it didn't feel like it was someone's story plan. Right. On top of that, her reigns, despite some dips here and there, overall were pretty strong. She was getting reactions. It does kind of resemble his sudden, boom, 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 world title reigns. Right. But in execution, it's far better.
I agree.
And I'll give you that. I guess it wasn't fair of me to compare it to the Roman Reigns thing, because the Roman Reigns thing was a dumpster fire.
Suffering succotash.
But just to be a 3-time champion in a 6-month span, it just seems like a lot of time to me. You know what I mean?
I understand that. I mean, that's the kind of do with The Rock and Mankind. What was it, like years ago? But at least back then there was a reason behind it.
Right.
But
and don't get me wrong.
The era was like that with almost every belt.
And don't get me wrong. Again, this is setting the original plans for the women's title back in motion.
Right.
So, boys, before we take a break, what are your final thoughts about the Hell in a Cell? Was it a good pay-per-view? Max, are you going to stop watching Raw?
That's what I want you to know right now.
Hold on. I will not stop watching Raw, but I'm no longer going to cover it.
All right. There's a caveat.
Enough.
Starting next week. Next week I make my move, so week after next, I will start, in addition to covering Lucha Underground and NXT and all that other good business, I will start covering Smackdown Live instead.
And it'll be a good Smackdown for you to cover, because in 14 days' time, The Undertaker returns.
Gong.
Oh my god!
I read that on What Culture today, and I almost shit my pants at work. I was so happy.
See what happens.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, Nate, final thoughts on Hell in a Cell?